Hey guys, welcome to the homestead. So we're back on our budget bathroom remodel in our 1972 mobile home. So this is this room we're in here is an actual addition that I think was put on in 1995 by the date on the vanity. And the bathroom was done with this same wooden paneling, but it had a lot of this plastic trim. This stuff right here. And you can see, well, you saw this what happened. But it's styrofoam. And you know, like you just squeeze it like that and it breaks. It's pretty flimsy. So as you can imagine, over, well, I guess 20 some years now, that got busted up pretty good. So we patched it up, we painted it, we rebuilt the vanity as you saw, and it's there. So where we're at right now is we're going to put in the faucet. I wanted to kind of show you how you put a faucet into a vanity top, what you get when you buy a faucet. We're unboxing a Moen Adler 84603 SRN, and yeah, the model number is right there. It's basically a two-handle satin finished, you know, brushed nickel, whatever you want to call it. I think it was 40 something bucks on clearance at Lowe's. So that's what we're going for. So you get your base, your plastic base, sticker, some paperwork. You get the nuts that hold it on. And what I do is I kind of open my stuff up as I go. The stuff that I know I'm going to need anyways right away. And I'll put them right there. Put my trash right there. And then you got your faucet, which we'll get out of all the cardboard packaging here somehow. So there's our faucet, our brushed faucet. And you also will get a drain kit and a little tool. I think the tool is for the to take out the screen. And notice the screen is flushed up in there. So that's important to keep. We'll set the box aside. We're going to set the drain aside because we can do the drain afterwards. But the issue with the drain is, you know, it goes in through the bottom. You have to caulk it. We'll show you that. But what we really want to do is we want to get our faucet in now, because if you can imagine laying on the floor and looking up under the sink, the faucet's way up in here. So you see how easy it is to get to right now, right? So we're going to take our faucet, we're going to put our little plastic piece on there like that. I don't put any sealant on this. The old days, the plumbers would have whacked us right full of plumber's putty and stuck it on there, but that plumber's putty will discolor the tops around them, and you really shouldn't have that much water up here. If you get that much water up here, you got bigger problems. But you could put a little silicone, and remember, I'm not a plumber. I'm just a handyman, I guess you'd call me. I don't know what you'd call me. Too cheap to pay somebody else to do it.
Electrician.
All right, yeah.
Fix it.
I am an electrician, so remember that I'm going to be doing this as an electrician, not as a plumber. So I might use some electrical tape or wire nuts, but these plastic things just go on here. You know, you just kind of take your time, screw them on. And we get the other one on. And this is kind of real world, you know, we're doing it right here in the bedroom. You could put this on sawhorses outside, put this faucet on, but then there's a chance you're going to bump it on the wall and break a handle or scratch the wall, or it's just more stuff. So for us, this is a nice, easy place to work. We're right here, and no harm, no foul. Now, as I get ready to tighten these, over here on this side, I'm just kind of eyeballing this to keep it semi-straight to the backsplash, because you can see it does move around some, or can move around some. And then I'm going to find my channel locks, which I left laying somewhere. Alright, found my channel locks. While I was there, I found the old faucet. You can see what I mean about all the goop underneath of it. And then you can see how green all of this was from wet. And there's the old drain. You can see it was getting pretty rusty. So it was time to replace the old 1995 faucet. And this is the plastic line I was talking about that they had in there. And it works, but it's just not as easy to do. So we're going to tighten these down a little bit more. And you don't want to go too tight. You know, all you're going to do is keep the faucet from moving when you turn the knobs. You go too tight, you might break something, but that's good and snug. We're going to find our whips. And we're going to hope they're not way too long. What I'm hoping for is that I can maybe make like a circle in them or something like that. I got long ones just because it's easy to lose some pipe than it is to gain some pipe. And I pointed out in the last video, but there's a rubber gasket in there already, so you don't want any pipe dope on this. You just want to put it on there like so. Matter of fact, the version of this that goes on the toilet, this end that I got here, is actually a plastic knurl that you do by hand. You're not even supposed to put a tool on it. In this case, I'm going to put my channel locks on it. Snug it up. Not too tight. Just tight enough is the key. So that's as far as we're going to go on that part for the second. And what I've done is I've already made sure everything's ready. I've test fit it. And then I have my silicone, 100% silicone, that I'm going to use to adhere the top down. So I'm going to put a generous bead across the back. And this was one of the mistakes that the previous installer had made, was that was not actually, nothing was glued or screwed. The cabinet was just sitting in there and the top was just sitting in there. Everything was able to move willy-nilly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my faucet for a handle, which you probably shouldn't do. And I'm going to get my other hand in the drain hole. I'm going to go gently down in there, like so. And that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it alone for 12 to 24 hours. And by the magic of time, I'll bring you guys back almost instantly. And we're going to put the center drain in. We're going to get water going and, you know, water in and out, hopefully. We don't want in without out, but, you know, we'll take it one step at a time. But in this case, I'm going to just hook up my cold water line because I've already done my hot. And remember I said these have rubber gaskets in there. So you don't need them very tight, just tight enough to seal that gasket. And I basically just snug them up with my channel locks like that. And that takes care of our water. These sinks have an overflow, which is kind of interesting because the kitchen sink doesn't have one, but a bathroom does. So if you forget to leave the water running, it'll go away. There's and this one is over here, but there's an overflow. The water will run through that overflow down through a channel in here and through this hole and down. Even if you've got the stopper plugged, if it hits that overflow, it'll come around and go down through here because the plug is up here. So now what we're going to do is we take this piece off, thread this way down, and when this goes in, this wants to point straight back like that. And what I do, and this may be right, may be wrong, but I've had great success doing this over the years, is I put a little bit of silicone around this and a little bit of silicone around this, and then I squish it all together. So we'll get our silicone going. Now the top is probably way less important because the only downside of the top leaking right here is your stopper may not work. You know, if this leaks between this and the sink bowl, your stopper is going to not hold the water in your sink bowl and it's going to run out the overflow drain. Set that back out of our way so it doesn't make a mess. And what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a little hard for you guys to see both sides at the same time. I'm going to hold this piece up here, like so, down in the sink. And I'm just going to screw this piece into it, like so. And you screw that until it's tight. Get that thing pointed right straight back like that. And then you just screw this nut up. Now you can do pretty much everything from down here. And this is all plastic, so that's another reason I like the silicone. I don't have to think about cranking it too tight. And I use my channel locks just because I'm not putting that much force on it, I can assure you. But I'm just going to snug it up about like that. And the only connection here that actually sets underwater all the time is this one. Now I'm gonna snug this metal one up because there's no good way to get a hold of it with your fingers. Alright, so we left you guys off. We were struggling with this arm. Where the drain comes out of the wall is sort of right in the way. The arm doesn't travel. I tried bending it a little, but it doesn't want to stay where I put it. The old drain had this rubber stopper on the sink and had a block-off plate on here. So we've chose to do the same thing rather than trying to re-engineer this because, well, you can just drop this in the sink and plug it. So we're going to set that under here. That's all hooked up. Ready to turn our water on and check for leaks. So we're going to start slowly with the hot. And it should hear just a little bit of water move as it goes, you know, fills the faucet. Cold. Same thing, just a little bit. We're going to go ahead and give it a little bit of water. And we've got our drain down here. So what we're looking for now is we're just looking for leaks like here, 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 here. Just looking to see if we see any drips. And then what we can also do is we can plug the sink up. And fill it up a little bit. And then we'll let it go so we know the drain is 100% full. And we'll get all the airable lines here. So now my sink is about half full. I'm going to pull the plug. And we seem to be in good shape. So my general rule that I do, and you know everybody can do what they want obviously, I like to put down a handful of paper towels under this. Because paper towels so wet really, really well. So like if I do this, now what happens is I'm just going to let this be. I'm going to check on it like in an hour and see if I see any drips. And then after that I'll check it like once a day for a while until we're confident we have no drips here. Because sometimes the hot water, when you start running a lot of hot water, things loosen up it seems like. But we just want to make sure we got no drips and we're good. But as you saw, we got water, we're good. The vanity's all in, the top's all done. Our next step will be to put a little bit of caulking on here. You'll notice the wall is actually really straight. This top, I don't know if it was just made that way or what the case is, but I put a straight edge on it. It's about 1/8 of an inch bowed in the middle. And I could have taken some more time with my grinder. This is fiberglass. I could have taken some more time and I could have relieved this side here, relieved that side a little bit and got it to go back. But grinding fiberglass is messy. I've got some almond caulking. I'll just run a neat bead across there. I like to do, the way I do it is I put a piece of masking tape on here, a piece on the wall, and I run my bead, I smooth it up my finger, and then when I take my masking tapes off, I have just a little fine bead of caulking. I don't have that big, you know, mess from your finger. So again, your mileage may vary. But we'll show you that in the next one. We're gonna trim the window out. We'll probably show you doing that. Put some new baseboard down. Sue's got to get the shower cleaned up, and somebody's got a toilet in the way right at the moment. Yeah. That's kind of where we're at. Paint and trim. Well, paint's done. Now it's trim. So hopefully you guys, you know, got some use out of that. Hopefully you found it interesting. Some of the challenges of working in an existing old bathroom with the old plumbing. But that's kind of it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.